Last year, I made a $500 mistake. I bought a gym membership with full confidence that I'd actually use it this time. My brain assured me, you'll totally go. But guess what? I didn't step foot in the gym once. It wasn't laziness. It was a lie my brain told me. Frustrated, I decided to try something different. A 30-day experiment using cognitive dissonance, a psychological trick that forces your brain to align actions with beliefs. What happened next completely changed how I make decisions. And considering that we make about 35,000 choices a day, 95% of them on autopilot, it turns out most of us are probably making the wrong ones. So how does cognitive dissonance work? And why does your brain hate contradictions more than bad Wi-Fi? Let's dive in. Cognitive dissonance is that nagging mental discomfort you feel when your actions contradict your beliefs. Like telling yourself you're healthy while devouring pizza every night, it's an inner conflict that your brain desperately wants to resolve. In 1957, psychologist Leon Festinger introduced this theory, explaining that we deal with dissonance in three ways: changing our behavior, actually quitting pizza; changing our beliefs, pizza counts as a vegetable, right? Or rationalizing, I'll just run tomorrow. The problem? Our brains love shortcuts, so we often choose the easiest way out, justifying bad habits instead of fixing them. And here's the kicker. Your brain hates hypocrisy more than it hates kale. But what if we could use this discomfort as a weapon for change? That's exactly what I set out to do. To put cognitive dissonance to the test, I designed a 30-day experiment that turned my own hypocrisy against me. First, I wrote down 5 glaring gaps between my actions and values, like claiming I valued productivity while wasting 3 hours a day on TikTok. Next, I made the dissonance impossible to ignore. I set hourly phone alerts asking, is this scroll session aligning with your goals? And plastered my fridge with Post-it notes questioning if my snacks matched my so-called healthy self-image. But awareness wasn't enough. I had to force a choice. No more, I'll start tomorrow. I deleted distracting apps after 8 p.m. and introduced a brutal accountability system. Every time I skipped the gym, I donated $10 to a cause I despised. Suddenly, my bad habits came with a price. The discomfort was unbearable. But would it actually change my behavior? The reason cognitive dissonance is so powerful lies deep in the brain. When we act against our values, it sets off the anterior cingulate cortex, the part responsible for detecting errors. Ignoring this mental red flag doesn't make it go away. Instead, it floods the brain with stress hormones, making us feel uneasy until we resolve the contradiction. But here's where things get interesting. I used a psychological trick called the Ben Franklin effect to rewire my mindset. Normally, this effect explains why doing favors for someone makes you like them more. I flipped it inward, telling myself, if I work out today, I'll actually like future me more. By treating every positive action as a favor to myself, I made self-discipline feel less like punishment and more like an investment. But did it actually work? Let's look at the results. The results were a mix of victories, surprises, and one painful lesson. On the bright side, I slashed my screen time by 60% in just 2 weeks, something I had struggled with for years. Even better, I finally used my gym membership, breaking free from the cycle of false promises. But not everything went smoothly. My brutal accountability system backfired when I ended up donating $50 to a flat earth group, a consequence of skipping too many workouts. That's when I realized an important truth. Too much dissonance doesn't lead to growth, it leads to self-punishment. The key isn't to guilt trip yourself into change, but to create just enough discomfort to push you in the right direction. So how can you apply this experiment in a way that works? Let's break it down. If you want to try this experiment yourself, start with a simple hypocrisy audit. Write down 3 areas where your actions contradict your values. Maybe you say you value learning, but binge reality TV instead. Next, set up dissonance triggers to make those contradictions impossible to ignore. This could be a savings goal tracker next to your Amazon cart or a sticky note on your fridge questioning your snack choices. But awareness isn't enough. You need to create incentives. Tie small wins to rewards, like treating yourself to a massage if you skip happy hour. Most importantly, avoid the martyr trap. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to fix everything at once. Pick one change, make it stick, and let discomfort do the rest. Need proof? Here's how this method turned a self-proclaimed couch potato into a runner. A friend of mine unknowingly used cognitive dissonance to transform from a couch potato into a runner. She always told herself, "I'm a runner at heart," but her actions said otherwise. She hated running and never actually did it. To force change, she created dissonance she couldn't escape. First, she bought expensive running shoes that were non-refundable, making her feel obligated to use them. Then she told everyone, "I'm training for a 5K," locking herself into social pressure. The discomfort of not following through became greater than the discomfort of running itself. Within 2 months, she completed her first race. This proves that when used strategically, dissonance can push us past our excuses. So are you ready to try it? Here's your challenge. Now it's your turn. For 1 week, pick one hypocritical habit, something you say you value but don't act on. Then bombard it with dissonance. Set up reminders, create consequences, and watch your brain scramble to resolve the discomfort. If done right, you'll find yourself making the change almost automatically. And if you end up donating to flat earthers, well, maybe keep that part to yourself. Remember, the first step to real change isn't motivation, it's discomfort. As Festinger's work suggests, when your brain can't stand the contradiction, it will do whatever it takes to fix it. The only question is, will you use that to your advantage?